James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, is one of my favorite authors. I quote him all the time. And I recently saw a quote from the book Atomic Habits that I don't think I've used before, but it really resonated. So I want to share it with you. The quote is: "Your behaviors are usually a reflection of your identity. What you do is an indication of the type of person you think you are, either consciously or unconsciously." So it got me thinking about the importance of self concept when it comes to leadership and our impact and effectiveness as leaders. So, my question for you this week is: what is your self concept specific to leadership? And if you're not sure, I really strongly encourage you to spend some time thinking about it. I've included some questions, of course, some reflection questions to help you think through it, because we all have a self concept, whether, again, like James Clear said, it's conscious or not. That impacts our leadership. It impacts how we make decisions. It impacts how we handle difficult conversations and really how we feel about our leadership experience overall. So definitely spend some time this week thinking about this. And I'm going to give you some tools on how to do that. Research shows that leaders with a strong self concept are able to take on challenges with more conviction. They handle setbacks better. They're equipped to make difficult decisions faster and with more confidence, and to engage in conflict and productive tension that is necessary and required for us as leaders. They're able to fail forward without making it mean anything bad about them and their abilities as a leader. So ultimately, overall, they're happier, they're more impactful, effective, and they achieve better results. Leaders with a strong self concept inspire confidence in their team. They strive to hire A+ candidates. Have you ever worked for a leader, actually, or been part of a selection process for somebody on your team, even just witnessed another leader in your organization who resists hiring the best candidate? And you just know, like, something in your gut tells you it's because they're insecure about hiring somebody smarter than them. They have a negative self concept. Don't be that leader. Leaders with a strong self concept really try hard to give their team members opportunities to shine. They give them challenging projects and assignments, and they make sure they receive recognition for their contributions to the organization. They give them opportunities to grow and develop. They know that one of the most important parts of their job as a leader is growing and developing more leaders in the organization. And so they prioritize that rather than kind of hoarding all those accolades for themselves and taking credit for the work that the team does. Leaders with a positive self concept do tend to set high standards, but they're also committed to providing the resources and whatever is necessary to inspire and motivate their team to actually meet those higher standards. They create an environment that fosters trust and psychological safety. They do this by communicating effectively. They are vulnerable, they're honest, they're transparent. On the other hand, leaders with a poor self concept pretty much do everything opposite from what I just explained. So I just want you to think for a second about the leaders that you've worked with in your past. You probably can pretty quickly identify leaders that have a really strong positive self concept and those that don't. And I just want you to consider, which type of leader do you prefer to be? So, again, even if you think you have a really positive self concept specific to your leadership already, I still encourage you to engage in this reflection activity to dig a little bit deeper. I think you're going to be surprised at what you discover. So, here are a handful of questions. I like to look at this from two angles. The first, to discover kind of what you already believe about yourself that lends to a positive self concept. The next, though, is getting into the icky stuff a little bit. So, this first set of questions are: what do you find naturally easy? List those things, and then why. Why does this stuff come easy to you? What do you excel at? Why? What do you enjoy doing? Why? The why is a really important bit here. So these are the beliefs that you already have that create a positive self concept. Lean into these. Don't let go of these. So now for the not so fun, but very, very important work of uncovering some of maybe those hidden beliefs that you have about yourself that might be contributing to a negative self concept. So, what situations make you uncomfortable? Why? Really do a thought download on this. This is a really good one. What do you avoid? Why? What do you just dislike doing? Why? These are the beliefs you have that are creating a negative self concept. This is the stuff you want to pay attention to. And again, when you really dig deep and spend some time with this, you might be surprised at how much you uncover. So, for those beliefs that are probably creating a bit of a negative self concept for you, is there a theme? What is the story that you're telling yourself about all of this? Now, consider this. Who would you be without this story about yourself? Who would you be without these thoughts or beliefs about yourself? What would you be capable of? Spend some time thinking about that. One of the unfortunate things I discovered when I engaged in this activity myself was that I had a story about myself that I'm not smart enough for the job that I have. I don't think I've ever said that out loud, but when I started paying attention to this, I realized I do think it a lot. It was actually a habit of mine to think I'm not smart enough. How do you think that affected my leadership? How do you think that impacted my ability to make difficult decisions, to present to senior leaders, to ask for resources for my team, to have the confidence to hire the best people and to push back when I had a different opinion or I didn't agree with a decision? Pretty significant impact on my ability to be an effective leader, carrying that belief with me. Once I was aware of it, I could work to change it. But self-concept isn't made up of just these kind of big things when it comes to our leadership. There are little, seemingly simple beliefs that we have about ourselves that also have a pretty big impact on how we show up as leaders. For example, one of the other things I realized was that I just believed I was a bad sleeper. I was tired all the time. I said this one out loud a lot. I found myself, again, it was just a habit, but I found myself kind of using the phrase, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. That was another one. So tired. I'm so busy. I used it as like a filler during social situations or awkward silences just to fill that space. I really believed I was a terrible sleeper until I got my Aura ring and learned that I'm actually a very strong sleeper. I don't have any reason to be tired every day. So that did help, having scientific evidence that I wasn't tired or I shouldn't be tired. But really, all it took was to stop saying that out loud, stop telling that story about myself, stop believing that story. How do you think that impacted how I show up as leader? Obviously, I have more energy every day now. I'm more excited about the work I do. I feel lighter, brighter, and smarter, really, more aware to make difficult decisions. So it's all connected. Even the little habits, the little thought habits we have that create a negative self concept, like I'm so tired, make a big impact. So really pay attention to your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself has such a major impact on the way you show up in the world. Are you self critical or are you self compassionate? Pay particular attention to the self-critical thoughts, those things you tell yourself. You want to get rid of those immediately. First, it's normal. Nothing has gone wrong. And now that you know, you don't want to keep that crap. Another thing you're probably going to find helpful is to reflect on whether you compare yourself to other people. Listen, we all do it. So I know the answer is yes, you compare yourself to other people, but think about how you compare yourself to other people. Does it make you feel inferior? Maybe it makes you feel superior. Both impact your self concept. So just get curious about that. It's kind of really interesting to explore how that impacts your leadership, because it definitely does. The other thing I'd like to do is think about what you want to create in the future. What are some big goals that you have? And then ask yourself, like, what do you believe you are capable of? If you have a goal to get promoted to a VP or a C suite title in the next 12 to 18 months, for example, do a thought download on, do you believe this is possible for you? What are you going to have to do to get there? Do you believe you're capable of doing all those things? It's really interesting. This all is part of your self concept. So do this work, explore what you believe about yourself. And then again, the main theme here, especially with the negative self concept, who would you be without this story about yourself? What would you be capable of if you let go of all of it? As always, I am here to help when you are ready to go all in on the most important project you are ever going to work on, and that would be you. So feel free to reach out to me anytime to schedule a discovery call. We'll talk about how working together in one on one leadership coaching for 12 weeks will totally get you to wherever you want to go. You can reach me at amber@graceandgritcoaching.com or graceandgritcoaching.com, the website. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.